And get us started with our recording and get our camera on so that you can see my face. And as we get things going, I'll make sure that you all are able to come off of mute towards the end of the meeting after I get a chance to go through all the information and share as much as possible with you all. The chat feature is available. So if you have questions while I'm going through the information, or there's something that's like really pressing that you would like to ask or make mention of, please use our chat feature. I can see the chat sort of ish, and I'll be able to respond to you in the chat to give you some feedback around the chat. But today is December 19th. It is the start of our winter break. Yes, we have made it to almost the midway point in the school year. When your students return on January 5th, we will officially be in the calendar year for which they graduate from high school. So congratulations. All right, our agenda for today, we're going to go over some updates. I'm going to, as always, provide you guys with some reminders around the things that I'm asking of our seniors as we kind of embark on the 2026 portion of our school year. So as always, I start our meetings with our mission and vision. At Baloo, our mission is to nurture students' growth in a safe, supportive, and inclusive environment. Our challenging, diverse, and engaging learning experiences inspire curiosity, build confidence, and prepare students for success. Our vision, we envision a school where strong relationships, technology, and open access to culturally relevant opportunities fuel student success. And as I am having the conversation, it seems as though everyone is starting to speak just a little bit louder than I thought they would in our common area. So I'm going to step off to the side so that I can hear my own self speak. But I do have some updates. I think I went one slide too far. Oh, I didn't. But we did get approval for our trip to San Juan. Thank the stars. DCPS did come back with approval for us to go to San Juan. So we are one step closer to boarding our flights and being able to enjoy uh, the sunny shores of San Juan, Puerto Rico. They have still determined that it is a destination that is air quote international. So we will still be under some international kind of parameters where we have to ensure that we've done the things to make sure we've cleared for an international trip in terms of our clearance. So there are some things that we're still kind of waiting on. So I'm awaiting the final kind of cost, just kind of based off of having to have certain security measures and certain insurances cleared before I share the final cost of the trip. If the price comes back lower than the 250, I'm sorry, 750 that was originally quoted, the final payments will be refunded to families that have already made payments that are above 750 or outside of what they've already made to their students' senior dues. So if you've already made the 750 payment and it comes back that we can offer this trip at a lower rate than the 750, of course you'll get your money back, especially if you've already paid the senior dues. Miss Tiffany, are you still unable to hear me? Larson, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. All right, so I'll go back and recap the Puerto Rico part, and then Larson jump in if I misspeak in any portion of this part. So we've gotten clearance or approval for San Juan, so we're going to Puerto Rico, barring that there's some kind of emergency where we cannot go, but we've gotten approval to go. We are awaiting the final costs, but prior to giving out any fee totals or payment dates to families, I'm awaiting that final cost prior to giving you all any additional numbers or dates. If the price is lower than 750, families who've already paid that full amount will be refunded. Those of you who have not we'll kind of like be able to pay the difference, and then we'll be able to move forward from there. If you haven't finished paying the dues, then if you would like, you can roll those things into the dues. If you're no longer interested in going, that can also be arranged. Those things are all kind of like balance themselves out. And Ms. Talavera, who is our business manager in the main office, will be able to issue families checks for the amount that you've paid. So I know that we have to pay in cash, but we can only issue refunds in check form because we don't have like an ATM card for Ballou High School. So we ask that money is turned in either money order or via cash because we have to deposit those things. And then the only way we can like give it back to you is via check because this is a Ballou account, not necessarily a personal AP Bird account. And that's the only way we can like give you your money back. So I apologize in advance if that causes any inconvenience, but that is how we're able to refund you your money. All right, moving forward, prom. For those who have asked about prom, prom is going to be on May 15th, 2026. It's going to be from 8 to 12. The theme is a night in Dubai. The location is the Embassy Suites by Hilton, Washington, D.C. Convention Center. We have started fundraising. Ms. Spencer, who is our social worker, has been working really hard. It is also why we are supporting concessions tonight. It is a part of our fundraising that we're doing for our students so that we can have a really nice prom. So we have done a lot of the fundraising to pay our deposit. We still have a portion that needs to be paid for the location. But then once we've paid for the location, we still want to make the place look really nice and fall into the theme. Students voted for a night in Dubai, so we're going to try and give them all the swag that goes with that. Our POC for prom is Miss Hill. I've had some students reach out about being able to purchase tickets for their dates that are outside of Ballou. That information will come in the early spring. So please expect more information about buying tickets for dates at the very latest in February, early March, around being able to purchase their date tickets. So if you wanted to bring like a friend from another school, or maybe your special friend goes to another school, that information will come in February or early March in terms of buying tickets for an additional person outside of Ballou. For students who purchase the gold package, they have one ticket included in their package. So they've already purchased that ticket, so they don't have to do anything additional. If you've gotten the gold package, you already got a prom ticket. It'll just kind of be issued to you around the time that we issue out our prom tickets. So once we get the print to come back with like all the thematic stuff on it, those students who had the gold package, those things will be issued to them. All right, retakes. We have had all the things. Life Touch has decided to no longer do pictures with middle and high schools. That is not a Ballou thing. They are not doing pictures with anyone who is in middle or high school. They said they were losing money, so they decided to kind of withdraw their bid with doing things with high schools and middle schools. That's not just us, but that's kind of like everyone. So we are going with a different picture company to support our retakes. Originally, we had a retake date with Life Touch in January. When they started giving us the information and it started to sound like a whole bunch of things were about to happen, our class sponsor, Mr. Thomas, said, well, I really want something guaranteed for our families. And he has started to set up our February date so that our students have a secure date where they can take both the personality and cap and gown pictures for their senior year. So currently the dates are February 12th and 13th. Mr. Thomas is in the meeting. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, who is currently off, but he is here anyway. So I love him for this. But he is here anyway. And I'll allow him to speak if he wants to jump in. So Mr. Thomas, if you want to add anything, or maybe you can't.
Okay, I got it. There you go. Oh no, you spoke very, very well. Thank you. Yeah, so
Uh-oh. Mr. Thomas, I think we may have lost you, but if you come back in, I'll definitely let you chime back in. All right, so I'll let Mr. Thomas chime back in um, if his service comes back in. Mr. Thomas is our senior sponsor who has been working very diligent to find uh, anyone who is willing to support us not having necessarily a sitting fee, but being able to purchase our pictures. And if you know anything about and pictures and all the things. It's really difficult to find someone who's like willing to just come in and take pictures and not necessarily charge us for those things. So he's been working on that. And he'll have more information that he'll be able to share via Parent Square and also our Baloo 2K26 page on Instagram so that families can see those things like almost like hard copy. And I will also have hard copies of this information when we meet in person for our family meeting in January. All right, graduation, what we've all been waiting for. The calendar is going to say 2026 and June is going to be staring us down. I promise you, we are going to go to bed and we are going to wake up and it's going to be like May. And we're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's almost time for my baby to walk the stage. I promise. So, June 2026. George Washington's Listener Auditorium. We are going to be ready to go in June. Do I have the date? Absolutely not. Thank you, DCPS. Do I have the time? Absolutely not. Thank you, DCPS. But I have the location and I know it'll happen in June. When will I have that information? Early January when I start going to our graduation meetings. So in January, when we have our in-person meeting, I will have our time and I will have our date, the exact day that your child will walk the stage. So what do I need from you all? For you to come to Baloo on January 26th at 5 p.m. in person so that I can physically hand you hard copies of all this information so that you have a packet of our mission complete. 12 years of a job well done, so everybody has everything that they need to see and in hand all the information to close out our senior year. So any questions that we have, we can continue to ask, but we'll physically have something to kind of continuously look back at as opposed to maybe some of the more kind of like electronic things where we kind of like search for them, but we'll have a packet of information for families. All right, coming up January 5th. Kids get back. It's time for off-campus lunch. I mean, we've got young adults here. We've done our attendance challenge. We've seen who's ready. Students who have come to class, stayed at school, done what they're supposed to do. It's time to give them a little, freedom. They will be coming home with documentation for your approval to allow them to have off-campus lunch. It's going to be a little sheet that says, I give my child permission to have off-campus lunch. Well, what's off-campus lunch, AP Bird? It's permission for them to go grab something to eat and come on back. If your student is free for the rest of the day, then they can leave at lunchtime and enjoy the rest of their afternoon. But if your student still has class, they're going to go grab a bite and come on back to the building. But off-campus lunch is a big deal. So this is for students who are in the green with their attendance and they have no D's and no F's. So I can't let my friends who are not doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom go and enjoy a really nice lunch and then come back to school and not be doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom. Right now, we're on Operation Graduation, and I need everybody to still be in it to win it. We're trying to push towards that stage. So I need everyone to do their part. And what that means is if I can give you an incentive to go grab something really good for lunch, maybe a milkshake, some French fries, some mumbo sauce, and some wings, then I'm going to do all the things. But I definitely need you to be doing what you're supposed to do in the classroom. All right, mid-year graduates. Some of our friends have really been on it and they have all the credits that they need and they're graduating / finished in January. Those students are welcome to continue to participate with their classmates, but they cannot hang out during the school day. So that means if your student is finished on January 23rd and they no longer have classes that they need to complete, they cannot just come to Baloo and kick it from 8 to 3:30. We will have activities and they will be updated in our senior calendar, and they are more than welcome to come back and participate in our calendared activities, but they cannot just simply come to Baloo to kind of walk around in the hallways. That's not permitted, but they can come back to participate in any of our 2K26 days, any of our pinning ceremonies, any of the other activities that we have for our seniors, but they cannot come back to just walk around the building. So they have to have some other structured activities, but they cannot be structured activities at Baloo. So if they are finished on January 23rd because they've earned all their credits, they've done what they needed to do for community service, and technically they have graduated from high school, but they don't get a chance to walk until June, they cannot walk around Baloo for the duration of the school year. But they can come back, they can come and enjoy us, they can come and do our activities. All the things are still open to them. They just can't walk around during our school day because everyone else is still trying to stay focused and finish and get to the goal. All right. For those of our students who will still be in classes until June, attendance matters. We have a very clear attendance policy. Students cannot miss class. They need to be here consecutively, meaning every day, every time the doors open, we need your babies here. When they are not here, please send them back with a note. The note tells our attendance counselors whether or not they are excused. Excuses support us being able to help them pass their courses. Students without excuse notes are generally going to fail due to attendance because they don't have excuse notes in the system. Grades matter. Every time we get paid, your student gets paid. They should be receiving a generated progress report from their teachers showing what they've earned in the class. They should be able to tell you, hey, I'm passing this class right now, Mom, because this is what I got in this class. They're either checking this electronically on Aspen or they're receiving a printout of their progress report from Aspen. And this is in every class your student has every payday Friday. So the next payday Friday won't be until we return from winter break. But last week, your students should have received a payday Friday note from all of their teachers. We should not be going into winter break not knowing where we are in our courses. So you should ask, hey, check in. Oh, it's Christmas. What you got in these classes? Before you get these wonderful presents, or before we celebrate the holidays, or you get to enjoy Stranger Things, which is coming out on Christmas Day. I need to know where your grades are. All right, graduation requirements. Your student needs 24 Carnegie units. They need to be in the specific areas. I know some of my friends have lots of credits, but they're not in the specific areas. So they've chosen not to go to some of their classes. It still calculates in their GPA. Please encourage your students to go to all of their classes. We do not wish to get to the point where it's like, I want to go to this school, but now my GPA doesn't meet their requirement. Those things are still calculated. So just because I don't need the AP African American Studies class first period doesn't mean I should not go. It's a weighted class, and that's just something to help make your GPA just that much stronger. Please encourage your students to go and do their best in all of the classes that they've been registered for. Community service hours. We have had countless community service activities and events. Please be on the lookout for an update from Ms. Sally Leroy. Students this year need 100 hours of community service in order to graduate. We have our Pathways Coordinator, Mr. Larson, who has worked very diligent to set up lots and lots of opportunities for our students. Please make sure they reach out to Mr. Larson. He has a plethora of connections so that they can reach these people before, after school, over the holiday break, during weekends, so that they can get the hours that they need in order to graduate. We've had students in the past not get to graduate because they didn't have their community service hours. Mr. Thomas, our class sponsor, has also provided hours for our students. Please reach out to our class sponsor. He's supporting them with hours so that students do not have to rush and wait to the last minute to get their community service hours. Our CTE director, Dr. Ruffin, has set up field trips during the school day for our students to get the hours that they need. Please remind your students, hey, did they have an event this week? Did you get your hours? Because the community service hours have been a stumbling block for some of our students in graduation. And our school district is looking at all parts of our students' transcripts when it's time for them to graduate. And I would be so disappointed if we didn't have the community service hours we needed to graduate. All right. When we come back, January 5th, we back in uniform. Please have your students in uniform. If you do not have on uniforms, students will continue to experience the consequences. I had some friends sit with me at lunch detention and they were so upset because they're like, what about the other kids? I'm not concerned about the other kids. I'm only worried about my seniors. We're going to live by and learn by example. Additionally, if your student would like to sell something, all they have to do is get permission. I have a document for them to sign. In order to sell something, they need prior approval. So I know some kids are like, oh, but I'm doing this to raise money for my prom outfit or my prom dress. No problem, but you need prior approval. Any extra stuff that students are bringing in, it is being compensated. It will be provided back to them, but it will be provided as they exit the building. They will not be allowed to sell additional things throughout the school day without prior approval. The moment we've all been waiting for, senior dues. January 9th is the last day for our senior dues under this particular package form. After January 9th, this will then become an a la carte document where everything is going to be sold a la carte. All of the features will be a la carte, meaning everything on here will be sold at an a la carte rate. I would love for us all to turn in everyone getting a gold package, but I recognize some of our students don't want to do all of the things. At a very minimum, all students are responsible for paying for the bronze packet so that they can have their cap and gown, diploma cover, class t-shirt, the gift, and our class pin. That is our requirement for our seniors at Ballou High School. They don't have to do anything else except for the bronze package. So at the very minimum, $175 is due to the school January 9th and beyond for your student to walk the stage. So please make sure, if you have not done so already, that your students' dues are paid. January 9th is our cutoff for those wishing to do either the silver or gold package at the rate that you see on the screen. Payments are to be made to Ms. Talavera, who is our business manager. They can be made in the morning, at lunchtime, or in the afternoon. Be providing students with receipts. All right, our senior calendar, super important. The link to our senior calendar is inside of our Ballou 2K26 Instagram page. This is constantly being updated so that families know, oh, the kids had a Grinchmas breakfast, or we had other events, or things are happening at the school. Also, we update our Ballou 2K26 page frequently. Oh, they had a play the other day, and the kids danced, and the band performed, and kids sang, and all kind of things are happening. So you can see your kids in real time at the school as things are happening. This is super important. We're trying to include you as much as possible. I support our Instagram page, but I get busy. And one of our teachers supports our Instagram page, but she's also teaching. So if something kind of has like a day lag behind, it's because, we are also still doing our regular 9 to 5 and we're not social media experts. But if you have questions, we really do work to field those questions. Starting soon, we're going to start highlighting the students who've received some of their awards. We've done so on the floor where we've posted some of your kids' acceptance letters. We're excited to see that they're being accepted. And we can't wait to have decision day when we talk about like, oh, okay, they've picked this particular university or college, they've picked this career path, or they've picked this particular branch of the military, and this is where they're planning to go after they leave Ballou. So please make sure that you're checking out our senior calendar. The updates will be coming and it will be live on January 1st, 2026, so you can see the second half of the school year. Our next meeting will be Friday, January 20, I'm sorry, that is a complete error. It will be Monday, January 26th, and I will edit that and make sure I correct it, but it will be Monday, January 26th, 2026 at 5 p.m. in the building. We also have a basketball game that day, which is why I put it on the 26th, so I can get some of the families to come on in and maybe even catch some of our basketball team, but it will be Monday, January 26, 2026. And then we also graduate in 2026. So I thought it'd be cute to put all the 26s together. Our mission is June 2026 and beyond. And I hope everyone is having a really happy holiday season. I can't wait to see your babies in January. Please follow us on Instagram as always. My contact information is brandy.bird@k12.dc.gov. My phone number is 202-794-2648. So if you need something, I try my best to respond. If I miss your call, I assure you, I will definitely try and get back to you. If you send me a text, I'll text you back. If you need something, please let me know. And I'm really hoping that everybody has a really safe holiday. And I'm going to stop sharing and also stop our recording to field some of our questions, just to be sure if anybody had anything.